it's Stephanie Morgan with Bath Crack Unlimited, and I am here today to do a super simple bubble frosting tutorial. Okay, so this tutorial is for an Etsy shop called Just Fairy Fizzies. I think that's supposed to be fairy, but I'm from the South, so I pronounce things like they're spelled. That's F-A-E-R-I-E, and I'll put the link in the comment section below, of course. So I first stumbled across this Etsy shop whenever I was searching for a super cool shark mold for Shark Week, and she had a really unique shark mold. Snatched it up, was sent to me within like 24 hours. I mean, I literally got the package in 2 days. It was kind of wild. But I was super excited, and I made a whole bunch of money off of that awesome shark mold. And she was kind enough to let me try out her recipe. I'm super hesitant on buying recipes in this industry. Most of them are very flaky and incredibly difficult, too many ingredients that I don't have, and just scary overall financially because it's kind of a toss-up. So she let me try this recipe out, and I tweaked it just a little bit on my own because I know, being in the South, that I almost cannot get away without using cream of tartar. So I did add a couple of things to it that are totally not necessary, but I did go ahead and put them in the recipe whenever I first made it, just as a precautionary little step. Okay, so like I said, her recipe is not super picky. So over here on this stove, I have in a makeshift double boiler. One day I'll buy one. I don't know, it's just not a priority because why? Like, I can just stick it in a pot of water, right? Who cares? I only had SCI noodles because they're super inexpensive right now, and SCI powder, it's like always up and down whether or not my supplier has it. And I believe these SCI noodles were like $7 a pound, okay? And I really do not like grinding up SCI noodles. It's not fun. So I have learned from experience that you can dissolve most surfactant powders in other surfactants. So in this pot right here, I have SCI noodles and Coco B. Okay, those are both surfactants, aka bubble maker. And I used the Coco B to dissolve my SCI noodles. Looky there. Okay, those are noodles dissolved in Coco B on the stove in a double boiler. Takes like 20 minutes. All right, so I already did that. And then right here, I have a light oil and cocoa butter. Okay, it's not a butt ton. It's just enough for us to get the hardening effect in our bubble frosting whenever it dries. So I'm putting my SCI, Coco B, light oil, cocoa butter in here, and I'm gonna amp up the heat and let that get to melting all together. But first I did melt the SCI in with the Coco B. Okay, and it's like a paste. So we're gonna turn up that heat, let that cocoa butter melt, and I get that double boiler boiling. All right, now in here I have baking soda, cornstarch, and I added cream of tartar to her recipe because I'm in the South, and cream of tartar goes great with anything in the South because, let's face it, never dries. And then also I wanted a super white frosting, so instead of mica colorant, I used just a little, not even quite a teaspoon of titanium dioxide because I want my frosting to be ultra white like these that I made yesterday. Okay, so I'm gonna mix these up right here. And if you want this recipe, you just have to go to Just Fairy Fizzies on Etsy and purchase it there, okay? Oh, is that a piece of cardboard for my baking soda box? Probably. It's kind of annoying. Alrighty, so I've got that, and then I've got my stand mixer here, ready to go. With this metal bowl, I like for it to get heated up So I'm going to show you guys, because keeping this stuff heated, since it has cocoa butter in it, is always super helpful. It makes it not freeze up on you or whatever too fast. So that's another thing I like about adding the heat to this recipe. Now, this is a tip, trick, whatever you want to call it, that I learned a long time ago when I first started using Lucy McCann's bubble frosting. Lucy McCann's bubble frosting is great. It just has a lot of ingredients, and it just is, you know, I find myself being like, oh, I need to go get some more of this, I need to go get some more of this, and whenever I seen this recipe, I was like, holy crap, it's only like 6 ingredients, that's amazing. And it's not a whole lot of powdered surfactant, which, so it's like super cost efficient. This is a grapeseed oil, or you could use melted cocoa butter, shea butter, you could use avocado oil, you could use any type of oil, other than, I wouldn't use coconut oil, 76 degree, because that shit never dries. And what you want to do is coat your surface that you're going to bubble frost down with some oil. This to me has made like a make or break difference as far as your bubble frosting binding with the bath bomb, okay? Especially whenever you're doing like unicorns and stuff where that frosting can just fall right off, you always want to prep your area with some type of oil. Okay, so got that brushed up. Looks like our cocoa butter is starting to melt nicely. Maybe one day I'll get like a drone and you could just like fly the drone over what I make on the stove. That would be so super fancy. Let's see here. We could all only aspire to be the soap queen. So that's melting, melting, melting. We're just kind of mashing it together. Woo. That'll be fun to clean up later. Almost melted, okay? So then I have my stand mixer. If you don't have a stand mixer, don't stress, it's okay. Hand mixer works just as fine, okay? So I have this, and I do like the fact that it's like an aluminum metal bowl, whatever material this is, because it will hold the heat whenever I pour this into here, which is, to me, gonna make it a lot easier to pipe because it's warmed up. So even if you don't have SCI noodle, you can still totally heat it up and kind of like basically get your whatever type of powder, whatever type of surfactant powder you choose to use, you can kind of get it dissolved, and so then your stuff's not so gritty. Okay, so it's a little bit chunky, but it doesn't matter because it's soft chunks, and that's what the little whipper thing's for over there. To love my professionalism. I get accused of being unprofessional all the time, especially whenever I go on like a troll hunt. I'm like, do you have any idea like how often people watch my stuff because it's unprofessional? Like, I'm just real and raw over here, okay? Alright, and plus I turned off the comment section where I have to approve everything, so that's been real nice. Alright, so I'm gonna pour this in here. Kind of funky, kind of chunky, funky, whatever. All right, and I have that in there. Scrape it out. You want every bit of that cocoa butter and whatever light oil. All right, so I've got that in there. Now I'm going to slowly pour my mix that I have in here of baking soda, cornstarch, a little bit of titanium dioxide to make it bright white, and a little bit of cream of tartar just because I'm in the South and that's just how things go in the South. Give your boyfriend cream of tartar. Give him some muscles. Toughen him up. Wouldn't that be awesome if that worked like that? Woo, look at that. I should have on a face mask. I just like to make my lungs tough and all my breath. Come on. Alright, so I've got all the dry ingredients in here. I'm going to whisk it up by by hand first. Woo! Making a mess. Now this is one step that I did not read in the directions because I'll be honest with you, I don't really read directions very well. I pretty much just wing everything. Parenting, life, my bills. And I was like, this is way too thick. I'm never going to be able to pipe this. What am I going to do? I guess I could turn the heat off on this. So, let me go get some gloves because I'm about to start having to handle some stuff. Here's a neat little trick. Turn it right side out. Alrighty. Okay. So, to me, oh that was dumb. I can't believe I just did that. That's okay. Because it's still very sticky because it's very hot. Alright, so just omit that, don't do that. That's still very sticky. And it's not going to pipe like that. So I was like, what can I add to it that will dry quickly? Rubbing alcohol, duh. Or fragrance oil, you could do that too. So, hope you guys can see me very well, all the way back here. Alright, so I've got, these are my colored bath salts. So I've got this in here, start mixing it up real good. Now I'm going to add me some rubbing alcohol. Until it turns into a nice fluffy frosting. You're just watching, I'm not even measuring. Obviously I don't want it to be too runny because then it's just going to flop. You know, let's go whisk here. Woo, that alcohol smells strong, but it does go away. Alright. Got to get every last drop off here. Alrighty. It's looking real nice. Turn it up, turn it up, turn it up. Feel pretty good about it now. I think that's about as whipped as it's going to get. Sometimes I like to do this fancy whipping motion. Guys, I'm bringing it out. It's all off there. Alright. Okay. There we are. Look at that beautiful puffy cloud of bubble frosting. Alright. Still pretty thick, just to give you an idea. If it thickens up too much on me, I may add some more rubbing alcohol to it, but I think we're going to be good to go. Now, here's my bag and my tip. I'm going to roll this bag over, just like this. I'm putting toys in these, so I'm going to show you how I do that. I put them on top because these bath bombs are so big, that way if they want to pull them halfway out, or if they want to pull them out of the tub while they're halfway done, they can, and they can already get their toy because it's going to be right on top. I know this has a fill line, but I'm not one for following rules. Alright, so let's see how we got here. Oh yes, that's nice. Get all the little air bubbles out. Alright, now whenever you're popping, just like in my whip soap tutorial, start in the middle, work your way out. Let's make sure you folks can see. Alright, right here. First I'm going to do a little dot for my toy. Put it in there. Okay, now I'm going to start in the middle, work my way out, and work my way back to the middle. Just like that. Beautiful. Dot, toy, middle, beautiful. Dot, toy, middle, beautiful. point, middle, beautiful. Alrighty, then I'm gonna do my sprinkles. This is Epsom salt, colored Epsom salt. Ta-da! Done. The end. Works beautifully. Thank you guys so much for watching. Go check out Just Berry Fizzies. I'm gonna have to check with her if I'm pronouncing that correctly. On Etsy, she does a lot of neat, unique molds, and then she also offers this bubble frosting recipe. Thank you so much, guys. See you next time.